Coronavirus continues to wreak havoc here across New York City and in the borough of the Bronx, no different. Every district is really struggling to try to deal and find ways to cope with coronavirus 19. We're pleased to be joined by Councilmember Andrew Cohen, who's the council member of the 11th Councilmember District in the city of New York. And Councilmember Cohen, good to have you with us.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, great to have you. I mean, we're coming virtually. That's what we do. I mean, obviously, a lot of us have our hands tied, but we're still about bringing content. But talk to us about residents in your district and how coronavirus is actually affecting you so far.
Well, the district, it's kind of interesting in that I have two hospitals. I have Montefiore Medical Center and North Central Bronx. So I've been trying to check in pretty regularly with them to see how they're doing. Believe it or not, I've been calling a lot of constituents, community board members or activists that I know, just trying to find out how everyone's doing and also what they're seeing in their particular corner of the district, checking in at supermarkets, what's going on there to make sure that people have the things that they need. So it's been a lot of that kind of thing.
Yeah. And so the Bronx has its first testing site. Your thoughts on that?
That's also in my district at Lehman College. Last Sunday, a week ago, the governor's office called and invited me to come take a look before it opened for actual testing to see the drive-through site. And it's very, very important that people know that it is by appointment only. Don't just drive up, they will turn you away. And it only slows them down from doing the important work that they need to do. But if you want to get tested and you need to get tested, there's a phone number which is available on my council website through my email or social media, and you can call, and if they'll screen you on the phone, and if they think it's appropriate that you get a test, they'll make an appointment for you, and then you can just drive right up.
Yeah. But it's got to be a good feeling for you, though, being able to have it right here in your district, and then also to be able to be a viable help, especially in times like these where, testing is ultra important and getting people in before doctors so that way they can have that opportunity.
Well, my whole team is working, from home, and I got to say I'm very pleased at how well that has been working. That people have been emailing us, and everybody can get their emails at home. And if you call the office, you leave a message, and we're checking it very regularly, and the messages are getting distributed, and people are getting callbacks pretty promptly, I think. So the constituent service has been, I think, robust. And people are taking advantage of it. And actually, it's nice that the feedback I've gotten is very good from people appreciating. We send out a very comprehensive email listing resources and kind of giving people updates. And we've gotten a lot of good feedback on that.
Yeah, for people who are in your community, obviously a lot of questions continue to come. They're coming to their council member. They want to know some answers. One of the answers, one of the questions that people are asking is, talk to us about alternate side of the street parking, because some people feel like it should be suspended. It is suspended. Some people don't know. Give us the real as to what is going on with alternate side of the street parking.
Well, obviously, coronavirus is a substantial citywide issue now. But a few weeks ago, actually in Riverdale was one of the sort of starting points in connection to a school in my district. So early on, we had been calling for the suspension of alternate side parking, at least in that community board, as people tried to self-quarantine and avoid having contact with other people. We thought it made sense that you shouldn't have to go out and move your car and search for parking. You do it in a snowstorm, and this seems like a certainly bigger emergency than that.
And when we talk about a lot of things the community is having to wrestle with, one of the issues is homeschooling as well. And you've got people who are being homeschooled. There's some in the community that are really struggling with Wi-Fi, but I know that there's some advantages now that are given out, given particularly the situation.
Well, actually, we also had some good news to report at the very end of last week. Altice Optimum is making sure that everybody can get free Wi-Fi now, regardless of your ability to pay. Or there had been some issue with some people who had outstanding bills. They owed the company money, but it doesn't matter. Regardless of your ability to pay, you're able to access that. And I think the information is also available on my website or on my social media.
That's great. That's great. And seniors, I know they're a big concern. They're the most vulnerable in our communities right now. Many of them are homebound. Many of them have several challenges as well as health challenges. Give us a little bit about how you're able to really take care of seniors and resources available for seniors during this time.
Well, initially, the Department of Aging was using sort of a grab and go model for meals. But I think starting today, actually, they've switched over to a completely Meals on Wheels delivery system, so that you don't have to leave your home to get the meal. And I think they're delivering 5 meals at a time, which is really important. We have gotten a few calls that were, very scary. I mean, we were able to get people food, but, homebound seniors or people who were sick, who literally did not have a meal. But now I think that that's up and running. If you're a member of a senior center, I think you're already enrolled. If you'd like to be enrolled, again, I have all the information available on my website, through my email or social media again.
Yeah. What do you want people to know in your district, especially during this time? How you have the opportunity to speak not just to the district, but to the borough about COVID-19?
Well, I will say I'm pretty pleased. I think that the vast majority of people are staying in their homes, really engaging in social distancing. The streets are pretty barren. I'm going to go out again today and just kind of drive around and take a look at what's going on. My observations are that people are really taking it seriously and doing the right thing by and large. I have some issues in parks. Harris Field has been a little bit of an issue. Seton Park has been a little bit of an issue. But by and large, I really feel like there's been very, very good compliance, and the people I represent are taking it very seriously.
You mentioned at the beginning you have 2 hospitals in your district. How are they dealing, and how are they able to cope? We know that hospitals are pretty much overcrowded, and particularly with people trying to get in. What's the word that you're getting from local hospitals as of late?
Well, I think everybody knows about the crisis at Elmhurst Hospital, but Lincoln Hospital has been in the South Bronx has been pretty hard hit too. So North Central Bronx, which is also a health and hospitals hospital, has been taking some of the overflow from Lincoln Hospital. Montefiore says that they are keeping their head above water, but I think people also have to have expectations. This is not like your routine trip to the hospital. I mean, it's all hands on deck. The circumstances there are very, very tough. It's full, and you should not go to the hospital unless you really need to be there. That's the message I think that we need to get out.
And we're talking about the curve. I mean, the curve is anticipated anywhere between the next 14 to 21 days. And given the fact that the curve is not yet hit, there is a heavy anticipation of how this can actually affect New York City hospitals, with more and more people actually flooding the hospitals.
I'm certainly afraid that we haven't seen the worst of it yet. This is my own opinion, but I'm cautiously optimistic that all of the social distancing, the only essential services, essential workers, everybody staying at home, I think that is going to pay dividends, and I think it is going, and I think we're going to see that in the next week or two. Like you said, hopefully this flattening of the curve. But I mean, unfortunately, I'm a council member. I'm not a doctor, so. But that's, I'm cautiously optimistic, I guess.
Yeah. And what are you hearing from your residents in the community, given the fact that a lot of businesses are closed, a lot of people are concerned about their business and their viability after this? What are you hearing from business owners?
I have spoken to some business owners, and they are definitely very, very concerned. I think that a lot of this is sort of triage, though. Like, if we can't get the virus under control here, and we can't get this curve flattened, businesses are going to be secondary. So I think it's a little bit of one day at a time. We need to get on the other side of this. And I think that the city, the state, and hopefully the federal government are going to be prepared to offer assistance to people who really need it.
Yeah. Well, Councilmember Andrew Cohen, thank you so much for taking the time and spending us with us here on Open, letting us know what's going on in District 11. Of course, our thoughts, our prayers continue to be with you and the members of your district as you continue to navigate, as we all do, with COVID-19. Take care.
I really appreciate doing this. Thanks.
And I want you to stay with us here on Open. Stay with us. We've got more show coming up right after this.